Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Vision to Wealth. This is day three, and I am really excited to deliver this last module for you and really recap again why this series is actually in place for you and what's behind it. Because I looked at the calendar and I was like, okay, I really feel the energy for another like a little mini offer, and I tuned in and I was like, what would be most supportive for the women in my world? And Vision to Wealth just came to me with this intention for you to have something that you can walk out of 2025 not drained, not unclear and not in reactivity. And so often, especially at the end of the year, that's the default modus or the default mode that we switch into, and it can happen. But the more we work on becoming aware and conscious and really training ourselves in these muscles of catching us before we go back into those old patterns and behaviors that do not serve us, the better we get over time. And so I said, all right, let's help you all with training that muscle, that awareness, and walk into 2026 or whatever point in time it may be when you watch this replay. Again, it's not time sensitive in the sense of connected to the end of the year, but a great way to do it now. You will be more regulated, more grounded, and aligned with the the version and with 2026 or the year ahead of you that your body can actually hold. So that was the idea around this masterclass series. And just to quickly recap, if you haven't watched day one or two, then please do so, because in day one we created the foundation, and that is your nervous system, so that you can feel safe. And once that is a given, you are able to receive. So this is the foundation that you need. So go watch day one if you haven't done so already. And then day two, yesterday we talked about, you know, how to then give yourself the version and the identity that actually then can call in the manifestation. So the version of you your system can support. And we did some exercises around this, and I hope you had the time to integrate and you really take time to go through the homework and the exercises that I shared at the end. And if you do need to stop at any point during this class, then please do so, right? So today, day three is really the last part that brings it all together. It is the process that makes manifestation predictable. And it also helps you to, once you've learned this and really go back to it over and over in time, then it's repeatable. It is sustainable, even and especially when life gets full and hectic. And so once you have these tools at hand, you're actually empowering yourself. Okay. That's what we want. This is the mission. My biggest wish for you to walk out of these 3 days together with me, that you feel empowered with a system at hand where you say, okay, now I have tools, I have something that I can lean on to, that I will remember, that I can repeat when life is busy and gets full and I feel snapping back into overwhelm and the old pattern. So this is the day we integrate everything. And what I mean by this is we'll start with one statement that has been, or maybe I start with a story. I actually wanted to share something with you. But the overall theme and the overall belief that I would love for you, I invite you to adopt if you haven't done so already, that is manifestation really happens through alignment and not force. And it's been my biggest takeaway from these past 10 years, or maybe even longer, that whenever I had that urge to create something, get something, achieve something, the more I leaned back, the easier it became to actually make it happen. And again, I'm saying making it happen, but it's to actually receive it, to allow it in, right? Because yes, we have to take aligned action, but it's the opening the door and leaving the door open to let it all in. So what I created is the I am method. And this is something that was really interesting. It came, I do a lot of like when I meditate every day, and when I get up at 4:44 because I'm an angel numbers person, when I got up one morning, we just had arrived in Bali, maybe 6 weeks in. I was sitting on our porch. It was dark because 4:44, it's still dark here. And so I was sitting doing my morning meditation, and I connected with the part of myself that was that felt so ancient and so um shamanic. That comes up when I want to share this story. And it gave me this full download of something that was always in my at my hands, and intuitively I've done it, but now I had this clear vision of a method that I then started implementing, teaching my clients and sharing with you today too. And that is rooted in this deep connectedness with yourself. Okay. And so the I am method came after journaling, when I was sitting there in my meditation, and afterwards I was just journaling and I was just writing out those sentences and those I am statements. And I looked at the word I am because each sentence suddenly had I am in front of it. And I was like, calling in my next level, my identity, my version, that I was calling in back then. And it was really as if the letters were highlighted. And I stands for intention, A for alignment, and M for manifestation. And it made so much sense. And so I want to break it down because this is the hierarchy, and most people do it actually backwards. For me, it makes so much sense, and it's a living proof method that I'm gifting you today. And so by intention, the I in I am, um, we're not talking about vision, and there's a clear distinction because a vision is a picture of you in the future. And while I'm a huge fan of visioning, and we did that also here in this masterclass, I want to make this distinction so that you understand that there is a fine nuance that goes along with setting an intention, and that is the direction of your energy. Can you see the difference? Like I have a vision, which is far, it's there, it's a picture, it's something, right? It's a place, it's a person, it's a version, it's something. Versus I have the intention. It is more like an energetic, it's a direction, it's something, it's a movement. So your intention is the internal command, and the vision is the external image. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Leave a comment if this is landing for you. And so many women have a vision, right? So you might be saying, okay, I clearly see that vision. But if you do not have the intention, or if your intentions are split, here comes the crack and here comes the kicker, because this is where then internally the conflict starts. And I shared about this conflict and contradiction in the past two masterclasses, but just again to give you an example. So if you say I want expansion, but then you're bracing for more pressure and falling back into hustle, or you say you want more money, but then internally you're terrified of losing control or what that actually means and looks like, then we're talking about a mismatch here. And this is why your manifestation feels slow or inconsistent or even confusing. Okay, so this is really important to understand. And the question is, or the question you have to ask yourself when you do this exercise is where or what is the direction you are actually sending your energy toward? And once that is clear and you move it forward, you have covered the I in the I am method. Okay. And so the second part is alignment. And that is really equivalent to the identity match. Because alignment is the part most people skip and think, like I said yesterday, I'll be that or I feel that once I can see in my 3D reality the things, you know, having manifested that I need in order to become that person, which is so backwards and wrong. Alignment is really the daily identity match, and it's yeah, something until you've embodied it, something that you can repeat over and over again. It's the moment to moment way you carry yourself. I'm always using this example of it's who you are in those moments when nobody's watching. When your kids spill the milk and you're not exploding and yelling at them, but you really like letting out this cool laid back mom vibe saying, oops, the milk spilled, right? Something like this. Or in your business when the client didn't, come into your business that you wanted to, and then how do you react? Who are you being behind the scenes? This is really such a key element to it. And also what it entails, it's your choices, your self-talk. How compassionate, empathetic are you with yourself and others? But first and foremost, with yourself, your nervous system tone, your expectations, your boundaries, all this, the energy you hold while running your errands, for example, driving your kids to school or whatever you're doing during the day or when you're replying to emails, everything is connected and it matters. It compounds and it matters. And so alignment doesn't mean that you're now becoming this perfect person. It's not perfection. I'm not talking about this, but it is consistency of identity shaping, forming, because you know how this future version of yourself looks like, behaves, acts, things, beliefs. You know that because you're striving to become her. So there's got to be this consistent alignment that you can actually say, oh, finally, I've arrived, right? And again, if your intention is, I am a woman who receives easily, and then you're on the other hand feeling tense, or you're overthinking, or you're, prepared for disappointment, there's this mismatch, right? And then your nervous system will always override the intention. That's just a pure fact because it doesn't feel safe. And your body decides your consistency. That's also something really important. It's your body that decides your consistency, not your thinking. So this is why the I am method works, because it repatterns your identity through safety and not pressure. Yeah, we can do those sprints, and I've been there myself, like where we really pressure ourselves, and then I'm doing a challenge or a sprint or whatever and this goes for every area of your life, but it's simply not sustainable. And it's so it's like going on a diet and falling back again. It's the yo-yo effect, and it can really happen with the identity shaping as well. So my invitation is to really take it slow, consistent alignment daily using these tools and practices that I'm sharing with you today, and you have a stable, continuous growth and expansion that lasts. And then the third part is the M in the I am method, and that's manifestation. And that is stands for the natural result. It's just the consequence. It's almost like a law. It cannot not happen anymore. Once you've done these first two steps, then it's just what what naturally has to happen. So, oh, manifestation is not the action. You can't, even though we say we manifest, but it's not an action. It's actually the outcome of the identity you hold consistently. Yes. So I also always sometimes feel that people think that when we read or hear people talk about manifestation, that it sounds so magical or so woo-woo or so out there, but it's really, for me, it's so logical because it's not about scripting harder, visualizing longer, or sitting in meditation all day. It's really not that. It's a yeah, setting an intention, aligning yourself and to the identity, and then having the results naturally flow to you. So intention, energy points forward. Yes, alignment. Your nervous system supports the identity. Only then the manifestation can happen. It's the natural outcome that matches your inner state. Boom. There you have it. That's all you needed to hear today. Okay. And this method is repeatable and it has to be repeated, right? So don't get me wrong. It's not that yes, you can reach milestones, but coming back to this process over and over again, checking in. I told you yesterday, you gotta check in with yourself. Am I still on the right path? Am I still in alignment with, who I say I am? What do I believe? What do I think? How does it really look like internally? And then you can use it for wealth, relationship, business, stability, motherhood, anything. Okay. And now I want to talk a little bit about why consistency is regulation and not willpower. Because most people think, I feel, consistency is discipline. And they say things like, I need to show up more, I need to, try harder, I need to be more motivated, I need to post more, or whatever it is, you name it. But here's what's actually true. And I've experienced this myself. So, consistency is really what your nervous system feels safe to repeat. Yes. I may repeat myself here, but I feel this is so important that you can never hear this enough. When you're regulated, you can, or this is then equaling consistency. And when you're not regulated, when you are in a dysregulated state, that gives the inconsistency. This is the in and out, the 2 steps forward, 3 steps backward. Okay. And so this is why you can have weeks where you're really on fire. And I'm sure we all experience this, and you have countless examples for it. And then you do this and you're on fire and everything works and you're like, yeah, I'm all in, but you pushed against it, and then suddenly you stop because it's not because you're lazy, right? It's not that, but your nervous system is just, it hit its threshold. Yeah. And it happens, like the consistency breaks when the body feels this pressure too long, too much on a too consistent basis, and then the identity feels unsafe. This is what happens then, and and then the mind jumps into protection mode and says, "Hang on." There's then these survival patterns that get activated, and a lot of times this is when I then see capable, strong women, how they sabotage themselves and their growth, even if they want it, even if they say, no, 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 this is exactly what I want, but the expansion simply feels unsafe and they come back and they shrink. They're like, it's like, ah, I was too much out there. You know, uh, maybe this is a silly example, but I just was thinking, here in Bali, you see a lot of houses being built, um, and some of the houses, they just build it too quickly. So that then afterwards, the result of it, there is mold inside the walls and these houses. And so I feel this is a really good metaphor for continuous sustainable growth, and staying like with a maybe even slower, or like a working process, instead of just like quick, 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 and then having not the results that you want and an outcome that is really not pleasant. Um, so yeah. And then I just want to say that the key to consistency is not effort. Yet you have to kind of come to this um, understanding or belief and willpower to really say that this is your drive or your motivation, your the key here is really the capacity. And yes, we want to expand it and always also go a little bit out of your comfort zone, but it's not about pushing. So there's this dance, there's this um, creating a skill. It's really creating a skill. And it's so helpful if you have someone who can hold you accountable. So I had a conversation with a friend. We went for coffee the other day, and she was telling me about her goals and the plans that she has in her business, and it's just such a beautiful vision. Um, and then she talked about it, and I could see her smile and glow and grow, and I could see the vision in her and how she really creates that meaningful impact in the world. And suddenly she said, but then she was scared about the pricing. Then she was scared if people would actually like it, because it was about creating channeled jewelry, and really like with shamanic rituals. And she does breath work, and she's like a little bit of a clairvoyance, and she can incorporate these sessions to then custom create jewelry. And she does these beautiful necklaces and earrings and things. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is such a great offer. This is what I would want. Like, let me know when you're ready. I'm in, right? And then she looked at me and she's like, oh, but. And then all the fears, the survival, the safety activation, everything's I could suddenly see in herself, and she tensed up. And so I coached her through. We were like, I said, okay, let's look at it. What is coming up for you? Where does it come from? Um, what do you need in order to feel that this is the right path? And remember your why. And so all these little steps that then helped her see, oh, I'm doing this something. My nervous system shuts down just because it's out there, but I actually want this, and this is part of my growth and my expansion. And when I said the words that I said to her, she suddenly felt safe. She felt seen. She felt held. She felt being held accountable to her vision as well. And she said, this is so valuable. And this is why sometimes you really need another person. This is why coaching works. This is why, the people in a coaching relationship really benefit from having someone confirm and reassure you that you're on the right path, that your pricing is right, that the offer is good, that the timing is right, the way you present the things. And so that, just to give you an example of how you can shrink even though you are on fire. And but when you feel safety around it, then you stay creative. And the next day she messaged me, I created this one-on-one offer now, and it's so clear, and it came through, and thank you so much. And now she's offering it, and so this makes me just so happy. And now she's back in her leadership, and she's grounded, and she really feels like she's on the right path. And this is what we want, and I want this for you as well, that you're self-directed and in receiving mode. And I'm just waiting for her next message until she tells me, hello, of course someone signed up for this amazing offer, right? And this is why your manifestation practice must start with your body, in your body. And I can't stress this enough. When you are regulated, when your body is regulated, when you do these exercises that I shared with you, your manifestation becomes rhythmic and predictable and normal. Yes. So your 2026 alignment plan, you can start this today, right? It's simple, repeatable, and effective. I want you to have something. I'm German. So I have a little bit of a like a mixture of everything. I feel like I've been out of my country for way too long to identify as a German. And people always say, "You're so not German." And I take it as a compliment, but I do value some of the yeah, stereotypes that or that's just in our genes. And so I like structure and I like simplicity and I like clarity and I like just like a little bit of yeah, this is what I'm sharing with you today, like a roadmap. And so I'm giving you a few uh and I'm looking at my list because I did take some notes so that I'm not missing something. So I have three things for you today. And it starts with number one. This is the micro regulation. Yeah, it's a practice that you can do daily, and it's a little bit like the breathing technique that I shared on day one. But this specifically is a practice. It's meant to give you like a quick reset. So it's 30 to 60 seconds long, and it resets you back into safety. It just signals again your system that everything is okay. And you can do it with your hand on, like one hand on your heart, and then, or even both hands on your heart, and then you exhale always longer than you inhale. Yeah, so use the 4 to 6 if you want. This is really a good guideline to inhale on 4 and then hold and then exhale for 6. Sometimes the words don't want to come out. And then you can, after you've done this for a few rounds, then you orient yourself in the space around you. And it's really important that you're becoming aware of your body when you do these exercises. Am I clenching my jaw? Am I tensing my belly? And then whatever emotion comes up or you're feeling in that moment, like this is when my kids are stressing me out, when I'm running late for something, when when there's something in my day-to-day life that could get me out of alignment and into stress mode, then I'm like, okay, I do this, I pause, I drop whatever I'm doing, and then I do this, and I'm, closing my eyes and I get really centered and I'm feeling and I'm like breathing, and then I name, this is so important, like name the emotion that comes up. So I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm overwhelmed. Name it and give it space. Yes, it's powerful. You can do this with your children, by the way. If you have children, this is something my boys love, and I know it's powerful. And this keeps you just in alignment and in this receiving identity, and doesn't cut you off. Because if you keep going and if you every time you do this, when you feel pressure or fear or comparison, urgency, anything like anything negative, the more you do this, the more you just like it gets easier and easier. Okay. The second tool that I want to share with you today is called Daily Identity Alignment Check-in. Okay. And that's also very simple and similar to what we've discussed before. But you can ask yourself the question when you wake up. It's simply, who am I being today? Who am I being today? And what is my, one small action that my future self takes effortlessly? It's so powerful if you think about the future version of yourself and really see her doing the things, going flowing through the day. And then that is really the number one rule here. And what this exercise does, it's identity before action and energy before strategy. Yeah. Like, again, no strategy in the world will help you if you haven't done the inner work. That's my number one statement here. Number three, weekly embodiment rituals. And that's really something, it's kind of like a CEO activity that I make my clients incorporate, that I have established because it helps you to practice and bring you back into your frequency. And so you can choose from, any activity that really matches your style, your taste, whatever feels best for you, but do it once per week at least. Um, Additionally to the rituals and practices like the breath work and the meditation and journaling, this is something that I recommend doing once per week. So it can be a candlelit journaling exercise, really creating the space for something special. It can be as simple as going for a walk, or you can voice note yourself. You can do some somatic shaking or dancing, or do some, writing a letter to money. Some rituals that really re-anchor you into your intention and into this identity that you're calling forward. Okay, so do this weekly and make it a non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Today, I don't know, it's Friday. And so with these three exercises, it's really my promise. Do those, incorporate those on top of your, your well-being, your good sleep, diet, exercising. But this is how manifestation becomes consistent, and you'll see results. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Speaking of results, I also would like for you to just come with me on a journey again. I hope you find these helpful, and I would love to do just a guided practice, a calibration drop in, and it's going to be short. So I know we're still on time, but make sure you're in a quiet space again. So let's find everyone a comfortable position. You can lay down, you can pause if you're catching the replay. And if you're live here today with me, then just take a moment to get comfortable. Um, Normally, meditations are really great when you're sitting, you're creating this line to the universe and being grounded. So if you sit, then make sure you have your spine straight. And then I just invite you to take a few moments with me to calibrate your entire system to your 2026 self. Okay. And if you haven't done so already, please close your eyes and breathe in through your nose. Yeah, feel your body soften and bring your awareness to your heart. You can even place one hand onto your heart or both if that feels comfortable. And then I want you to call in your intention. What is the core direction of your energy for 2026? What are you calling in, and what is the energy that you're seeing or feeling for 2026? And maybe you can feel it in your chest or feel it in your belly, feel it in your spine and all the way through your whole entire body, how this energy fills you up. And with this energy, you step now into alignment and imagine the version of you who already holds what you want. So really see in front of your, eyes, with closed eyes, but see how she speaks, how she thinks. Imagine how she responds. How does she receive? And how she moves through her day. How does she handle waves of emotion? Observe how she handles obstacles and how she stays grounded in her identity. And now it's time to let her presence fill your body. And breathe into manifestation. You can think the words and let my words really echo in your head. This is not meant to be a future event, but as a natural outcome of who you are right now. I invite you to breathe in certainty. This is happening. This is already happening. To ease, you can relax. You made it. She's here. You can see her. It's so real. She's already, she's already here. And really sink into this grounded clarity. Now I want you to open your chest. If you're sitting, roll your shoulders back and really breathe in one more time. Even make this movement with your arms. If you're laying down or even sitting, you can open it up and open up your chest and let your shoulders really drop one more time and let your body feel the frequency of already having what you desire. Smile. And maybe even one more time, a big, deep belly breath in and exhale. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and really come back to this present moment, knowing that you've activated something in your body and in your consciousness that is going, even if even if your mind was wandering or if you weren't as present, you heard my words, and this is an activation, so it's going to happen no matter what you think or do right now. Mhm. And so with this, you've completed the full Vision to Wealth journey with me, and I'm really so proud of you that you stuck in this journey with me, and you really now have a regulated foundation. You have the tools and a vision your body can actually support. And we did the exercise, the activations that you can come back to. You can still, work on the homework. You can craft your aligned identity and then really use those manifestation methods that I taught you today. You can use those all year long. Yeah. So don't just do it once. You have to shower every day. Okay. So come back to those, do your weekly and your daily rituals and create a structure. Like if that helps you and holds you accountable, then create a structure for it so that this embodiment practice um, and manifestation practice becomes a routine and you can return to any time. This is truly like I, I guarantee you, this is the number one thing entrepreneurs out there are missing if they're not there yet. So the inner infrastructure that makes the expansion sustainable and the manifestation normal. Okay. And once you have this in place, you're there, right? The only way up, the only way is up. And before we close, I would love just to share something comes from my heart. It's not a sales pitch, but there are two ways you can continue the work with me if you loved what I shared in these 3 days. And there is two offers that I'm currently sharing with my audience. And one of them is Launch Like a Leader, which starts in January. But if you catch this replay later, there is yeah, message me. There's always a way to come in. And it's for the woman who really wants a grounded 2026 business plan. We do talk and create a launch model that supports your life. And we will align, like we will talk about alignment, your strategy, your nervous system capacity, but really with that intention to grow your business and your expansion without burnout or force so that you can scale with with the feminine leadership energetics that I touched on during these 3 days. And for this masterclass, so if you're part of this masterclass, there's a special. Normally, this is 444 per month, but since you're here and with me, this is a special of 333 per month. Or if you prefer to pay in full, it's 1,888. I will share the details or slide into my DMs if you want to join us. And this prize is only available here inside Vision to Wealth. The other offer that I have is called Sovereign Spirit, and that's a mastermind. And I decided to create something that may even be unique out there. I'm not sure if anyone lets you into a mastermind with high touch coaching and high proximity coaching on an almost like a subscription basis. You can come and stay for as long as you want. Ideally, I recommend always to see result and really shifts and the power and the effect of this work that we're doing inside this mastermind. Stay for a year. This is my vision. This is my dream that people really get it and know and understand. This is the like the most valuable length and even beyond, because it's like I said again and again and again, it's the hygiene, it's the spiritual hygiene, the the practices that we sometimes forget or don't do and let slip. And so it's for the woman who wants to do the deep inner work and wants to go deeper into all those topics that I touched on. And we talk about feminine energetics, it's identity work, again, it's manifestation and nervous system regulation. There's tools and so much more that I can share and haven't even talked about. And it's basically a sisterhood that holds you in your growth and expansion journey. And when you do this in a consistent and supported way with a mentorship, I can only, yeah, I can only stress how powerful this is. And so it's a space to grow without pressure. And this is why I also leave the doors open so that you come in when it feels good and you go when you need to pause. Life happens, and yet the intention is there to have you with us on a consistent basis. And it's a masterclass special that ends December 24th. So if you're catching the replay afterwards, this offer will be gone. But instead of 555 per month, I'm offering this at a special rate of 111 per month. Cancel anytime, easy. This is the gentlest and most accessible way to stay in my world consistently at the minute. And I would be really honored and thrilled to have you. So again, if these 3 days were powerful for you, then imagine what 6 months or even a year could do, like of consistent regulation, of alignment, of support, both in the feminine energetics and the masculine strategies that I share and teach. And yeah, with this being said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank yourself, like be proud of yourself and say, yes, this is part of the upgrade and the next level version because, stepping into the woman you're becoming is a journey. So I'm deeply honored I'm deeply honored to walk this with you. Thank you. And I see you.